Hello and welcome to a Unity tutorial. This is a very interesting tutorial because I'm going to be showing you how to create your own Guitar Hero game using the ChartLoader framework. So if you'd like to get the ChartLoader framework, it's right in the assets store. You can go ahead and download it, import it into your package, and I'll show you how to use it. So first, let's import it and I'll show you exactly what we need to use it for. Here we have it. So inside the ChartLoader package, you'll find a bunch of prefabs, some scripts, and demo scene documentation, everything you need to get you started making your own Dance Dance Revolution or Rock Band or whichever you wish. If you don't want any of these other folders, you can go ahead into scripts. Inside scripts, you can just check the ChartLoader checkbox, and this will import the .NET framework to create your project. So because we have a lot of things here we might need, such as the prefabs, we're going to go ahead and import the whole project. So this shouldn't take very long. It's less than 1 megabyte worth of data. Very small. And there we have it, ChartLoader. If we go inside our demo scene, we'll see that we have some 2 tracks. The right side is the drums, and the left side is the guitar, expert guitar. So if you click on the expert guitar, you'll see that we have some parameters here that are already set up for us. If we would like to load in the expert drums, we'll go ahead and select expert drums. If we want to load in the expert guitar, we'll load in expert guitar. And of course, we have the track speed, how fast the notes should be going down. The prefabs to spawn, if they're solid hammer-ons or tapping notes. And a path to the chart itself, along with the audio that comes with it. Although in the package I didn't provide any because it's all copyrighted stuff. We're not allowed to distribute some music. So if you would like to get your chart and song, you'll have to download it somewhere else or create your own. The chart files are created using something called feedback. So if I go to my games folder here in Guitar Hero 3, I should have something called feedback. And if you go inside feedback, this is where you create your track. So here I've kind of been testing something here. You can add and remove notes using some of the hotkeys here. And once you're done, you can press save. This nice happy saving music. And you can use the chart file that is generated by the software to import into Unity. And that's exactly what the .NET framework does. Excellent. So here we have it. We have our path that loads in our ChartLoader, and they should spawn inside. Although you have to make sure that your path is correct. So if I go to ChartLoader, I think the issue I was having before is that I didn't quite use the correct location. So if I go to Expert Drums, Chart Assets, Songs, this should be ChartLoader. Let me just change this quickly here. And paste ChartLoader, and press play. See what that does. So there we have it. So the notes are being loaded in. As you can see on the left side, it is the expert guitar that is playing, and on the right side is the drumming. So luckily for us, there is no audio, but if you would like to use some audio, I wonder if I could find the track somewhere, but let me go ahead and find the track for you really quickly here. I should have it inside my Guitar Hero folder. So if I go to my games, Guitar Hero. Okay, so here we have it, our audio clip. We can drag and drop right onto this open parameter here. And when we press play, we should now see our song playing. So I just want to mention something. The drums will be coming in later. So just wait a sec here. Here they come. Alright, so you get the idea. So there you have it. loading in the notes directly in from feedback. So how do we get started? How do we do this from scratch without using the demo? Well, let's go ahead and create a new scene. This is the part of the video that is the meat and important part of using the chart loader. So let's go ahead and create a new script. We will call it chart loader example, because that's the name of our project here. Wait until it spins and it compiles and it does whatever Unity does. We're going to create a new empty, and we're going to call this expert guitar. Excellent. Let's drag our script onto there. And let's open up Visual Studio or MonoDevelop. Whatever your choice of weaponry and scripting you may desire. Excellent. So here we are. And now we can start importing the package. So they do use a namespace called ChartLoader. So you're going to go using.chartloader.net. I believe it's the utilities, and we're also going to need the framework itself. There's no wrapper class for this, so we're going to have to do this using both of them. Excellent. So we're going to create a new object called chart reader. So let's go create a public variable up at the top. Public static chart reader. And this is going to be our chart reader data member. And we will instantiate it inside the start method. So inside start, we will create a new object called chart reader and close it off. Perfect. Next, so now that we have our chart reader object, now we can read charts. So let's go ahead and read something here. .read chart file, and you'll see here it will require a string, which is the path itself. So if we go read chart file, we're going to need to find a directory of our chart. And it could be, you could use application.datapath to get your local assets directory, or you can go find it inside another folder. So here I've got Crisis City, which is an awesome, absolute awesome chart. Fortunately, the chart file wasn't in there, so I will have to go back to my games folder, tutorial 3, custom songs, and we can get something else here. Let's go ahead and take Tony Harnell Escape from the City. So I'm even going to copy the folder and bring it directly into the Unity project. So if you don't know what folder I'm actually copying here, this is a song that you can download off of the internet. So if you want an example, if you're new to downloading charts, just go ahead into YouTube and type Guitar Hero 3 custom chart download, and you'll find a list of a bunch of people with custom songs that they provide for you to download to hack into Guitar Hero 3. But here there's no hacking involved. Here you're using the chart file to load in your own package. So this is excellent. Okay, so once you download your song, inside you should have two files: the song chart and the song itself. So let's go ahead and let's add an audio source here. Let's go add a component. I wonder if we could just drag the song right in there. Of course we can. Unity is so user-friendly. I really enjoy how they set everything up. The only thing is that they renamed my empty here. Let's call it music. Let's press play and see if it will work. So this is the Sonic track here. And it works perfectly. So we're going to need to import the chart itself. So where is this file located? Well, I can go right here and copy the path, and this should be pretty simple. Once I've copied the path, I can go back to my script here and paste the directory right in there. And I believe we'll need to add 2 backslashes, which is an escape character in C#, to allow the path to be readable by the parsing of the chart file reader. Okay, so now that we have the path to our chart, if we check it out, we'll see that the chart reader read chart file path returns a chart object. So if we create a new object called chart and a variable named chart, or maybe we'll call it escape from city chart, right? Escape from city chart. We've essentially just loaded in the whole chart file in about 5 lines of code, which is nothing. Okay, so the way this works, this chart loader, is once you've loaded it into this chart object, then you can access anything you like. If you would like to access the notes, you'll use the chart and the dot operator dot get notes, and inside it will require a string key. So if you check it out here, retrieves the note given a key value. So this is a little bit interesting on how this works, because I know this by heart. If you want to get the expert notes of your chart, you'll go expert single, and that will retrieve the expert notes. If I want to get hard mode, I will get hard single. If I want to get easy, I'll get easy single. If I wanted to get the drums chart, I will go expert drums. Now, if you don't know these by heart, you can actually just go straight to the chart file itself. And if you scroll down, you'll see that you'll have these events, sync track, and the song details. You'll also have one called expert single, which is all the notes related to the expert single player. And if you go a little bit lower, you might find expert double guitar. So if I wanted to use double guitar expert, I will paste in expert double guitar. The only issue with doing it like this is that you might not have hard mode. Whoever programmed this chart wouldn't have hard mode in it, but that's okay, because most of the charts here have expert single. So just leave it as expert single. And the get notes will retrieve a note array, and we can call this expert guitar notes as my variable name, expert guitar notes. You can make it equal to that. Perfect. So now we've essentially retrieved all the notes inside a nice little array that we can spawn. So you wouldn't want to spawn all the notes at once. You'd want to only spawn the ones that you need that are inside your field, or your field of view, or your depth of view, or whatever. So this is why I recommend using the note array and then using the get enumerator method to retrieve the enumerator to spawn them one by one. Or you can do it old school style and just spawn them all at once. To do this, we're going to do a nice little method. We're going to create a nice little method. We don't need the update method. We don't need that. I'm going to create a method called spawn notes, and it will require a note array with a parameter notes. And I will iterate through all of them. So I will go for each note in notes. Careful with the case sensitive here. Capital N for the note class, lowercase n for variable name, and notes for the the formal parameter inside this method. Excellent. So this is obviously spawn all notes here. Excellent. Okay, so what do we do with this note here? Well, we could either put all of our code inside here, or we could create a separate method. We'll go public void spawn note, which is just one, and it will require a formal parameter note. And that's about it. That's all you need. That's all the parameters you need. You don't need distance, you don't need length, you don't need any of this. Any other parameters you might need. Although, we do need to copy paste this method right into our loop so that we can spawn the note correctly. And now, everything that we need to do to see if the note is a green note or a red note will be inside this spawn note. So here this will be spawn single note. Now what's cool about the chart loader is that you can spawn chords. Each note is not one note. A note could be a chord, could be five notes together into one. So we're gonna need to create a new loop here, a for loop. And inside the for loop, we're going to use I as our parameter, or as our variable, note.button indexes. This is the key word here, button indexes. The button index, if you go check it out in the documentation that's provided over here, if you go down to assets, chart loader, documentation, just give it a sec, it's compiling my previous code. If you double click on the documentation here, you can get the exact code that I'm using to spawn these notes. In fact, what I will copy here is a spawn prefab method because I don't feel like retyping this. Spawn prefab, the prefab itself, and the vector point and position. This is all standard Unity stuff that isn't part of the chart loader, so I'm just going to bring that in. If we go to, let's say, chart framework, and we go to the note class, we will see button indexes. So if you see it under properties in the note class, the button indexes are all the finger end indexes related to this event. So what does that mean? Well, I'll show you. So let's say I have my green button here, and I have, here we have two. We have the orange and we have the green at 0 seconds of the song. Basically, we're going to get an array of 5 objects, 5 Boolean values. If the first value of the array is true, it means we have a note. If the first index is false, it means there is no note. So that's how you determine if there's a chord. So here, for example, index 0 would be false, 1 would be true, 2 would be false, 3 would be true, and 4 would be false. So this would make a chord red and blue. So that's how that works. So here we need to check before we spawn it. We need to see if our button indexes at index I is true. If it is true, we will spawn the note. Now I'll have to go back to here and copy my wonderful template here, spawn prefab. I'll grab this and I'll paste it right in there. Excellent. Spawn prefab. Inside here, I will spawn my prefab. Excellent. So here we need to specify the length. So let's type the length. Okay, so the prefab. What's really interesting about using this method here, spawn note, is that since the button indexes are in order, we can call the prefab by an index. And if you don't know what I mean, we need to make an array of objects to spawn the notes, the spawn of prefab. So here I'm going to go public transform note prefabs, and this will be an array, and we'll define that in the editor later. So let's just go ahead and copy note prefabs. So if the button index is 0 and it is true, we will spawn index I from note prefabs, which should be a green green note, just a green note. And the point, well, it's the location of the note. So here, this is where it gets a little bit tricky, but because I'm here with you explaining in the video, you can just go ahead and copy this directly from the video, or you can go straight here and copy it in. So easy, right? So the position is a little bit more trickier. So this is how we're going to do it. We're going to first create, we're going to declare a point, and we're going to put it inside here, and we're going to initialize it inside the loop and inside the if statement. We're going to need a vector 3. So on the x-axis, where is this button? Well, if we check here back in feedback, you'll see that the green note is actually -2, right? The yellow is in the middle. We'll call this 0. Red is -1. And -2 is green. So how do we get this location? Well, we can go ahead and type I, right, -2f. So if you think about it, if it's 0, right, if I is 0, we're going to do -1, -2, and there's the position in the note. Excellent. And that will go through all of them. So if we have red, which is index 1, so index 1 is at blue, -2 will spawn at the correct location, and so on and so forth. So there's the x. The y is 0, right? We're not going anywhere. We're not going up or down. I mean, you could if you wanted to. If you're designing a game, you might want to have up or down. And this is the interesting part. Float z. It's how far is it, right? How here the next one up, the yellow one is some value, right? How do we get that value? How do we transfer that yellow note z value into Unity? Well, here it is. You're going to take the note from our formal parameter here, note dot seconds. Finished. Right? That's pretty accurate. It'll give you a pretty accurate representation of where the note is going to be. And finally, now that we've created all our methods, we can go ahead and test it out. So let's take our spawn notes and paste it right in here, and we're going to spawn expert notes. There we have it. Save that. Let's go back to Unity. And before we press play, we're going to need to assign our note prefabs here. Here we got nothing. So our size is going to be 5, right? Because we have 5 notes. And inside ChartLoader prefabs notes, here we have all our notes. So here you can have the green note is the first one, then it's the red, then it's the yellow, then it's the blue, and then it's the orange. And if we press play now, hopefully our camera's in the correct rotation here, we should see some notes. All right. So here you see all of our notes have been spawned, which are associated to the current song that we're listening to. And you'll notice that there's quite a long distance between the start and the beginning of the song. So that is the delay at which is loaded directly into the chart. So here if we have a delay offset 2.98 seconds, which means that this whole thing will be pushed up 2.98 seconds. So now that we have the notes loaded in, I just want to make sure that my camera is in the right, looking at the right thing here. I'm going to rotate it down like roughly like that. Yeah, that's good. I'm going to copy the component so that when I go back into my scene, I could paste the values and it will be facing the correct direction. Excellent. I would like to make the camera move. Basically, I might as well just let you know that the tutorial is over. This is all you need to know. Spawn the notes. We'll spawn the notes at the correct location determined by seconds. It's pretty normal, pretty standard stuff. So at this point, thank you so much for watching this far. I am going to continue, and I'm going to show you how to make the camera move. If you are interested in downloading this package, I think it would be a great idea. It's very easy to use, and you can use this package anytime you want. If you wanted to load in a string without having to read a chart file, because I know some people would like to use this for Android purposes, you wouldn't want to read from a file. You'd want to use a file that already exists inside your Unity project. So in that case, the way you would do this is you would remove the path, and instead of read chart file, you can go parse chart text. And if you open and close the brackets, you can place your chart. So let's say if we took this and copied it as a string, pasted it in here, we would be able to get our result. So this is also another way that you can do it without having to read an external file. Excellent. And if you would like to get the star power, which is represented as notes as well, you get star power. Just change this method to get star power, and it will return an array of star power. And if you want to see how I use the star power, you can go ahead and check it out in the demo, and it will show you how to use the star power inside there. It is going to be another video to explain the star power if you would like me to explain it. But other than that, thank you for watching, and I'm going to continue on moving the camera. Okay, so I'd like to move the camera now. So if I go to assets, I'll create a new script. I'll call it camera movement. Very easy, simple stuff. Well, it's because I already have camera movement in my demo. So I'll name it something differently. Create C# script, camera controller. That should be a better one here. Now, because we're going to be manipulating the camera position, I would like it to be at the correct height. Now, it's very important that wherever the camera is facing, that it is looking at 0, 0, 0, 0. So if I have my cube here at 0, 0, 0, I want my camera base to be relatively where the notes should be playing if they're coming in. So if we look at Guitar Hero here, if the track was playing, notice how the camera is looking at this location here and it's looking far out. So that's what the cube is representing. It's representing where the notes are supposed to be in relation to the music. And once I've set that, I can parent my main camera to, I'll make it a child of the cube. So now if I move the cube, the camera will move with the current offset. And I will assign the script to the cube. Okay, perfect. So if I reload, yes, save, reload, just let me open it. Okay, so we know that the track is running at 1-to-1 ratio. 1 second equals 1 Unity unit. So that means we need to move our camera relative to 1 second. So we can go and just type the following. Transform, the current transform, dot translate vector3 dot forward times the speed and times the time dot delta time. That should just about do it. Just moving the camera. And if you would like to see what we're looking at, we can create a new cube, scale it down, and scale it outward and this should tell you exactly where we're looking at. So let's wait here. I'm so proud of this. This works so well, it's unbelievable. So you notice that the notes are very close together. So if you would like to modify how wide these notes should be or how fast the notes should be going down, you can create a float and a speed variable equal to 1 second by default. Replace the 1F inside the camera. So here I just did in the camera controller. And I'm also going to do it inside the ChartLoader example. I should probably copy this line. I'm going to copy the speed and paste it into my header here, speed. And the speed will be multiplied by the notes in second. So now, if I click on cube, my main controller here, and I change the speed to 4, and I also will change this speed to 4. Now we should be 4 times faster, 4 times more accurate. There we go. I'm sorry, I'm just so mesmerized by this song. It's really awesome. I like Sonic a lot. One thing that you may have noticed is that the notes may be off a little bit, so you're going to need to have like a audio calibration menu, or even just move the notes a little bit closer. So if I wanted to move them back a little bit, I can go minus 0.1F, right? And that will move the notes back and should be a little bit more accurate. So here this is going to be your accuracy, right? If you wanted to see if the note was a hopo, which is a tapping note, or a hammer-on note, or if you want to get the duration, everything is stored inside the note itself. So if I just go here and I type note.isChord, you'll find if the note is a chord or not. You'll find out if the note is a hammer-on or not, and you'll find out if the note is a hopo or not. If you wanted to get the duration of the chord, you can go duration, and you can get it as in seconds, in microseconds, or in a generic duration type. So if you wanted to get the total duration, you can go to seconds. This setting up the duration would set the length relative to the world space. So you would also have to multiply this by the speed. You don't have to worry about the offset in time, but you can definitely adjust your note length using this simple statement. So I hope that you enjoyed the tutorial, and if you would like me to show you more on how to create your own Guitar Hero game, or how to make things a little bit more accurate with long notes and tapping notes, even hooking up a guitar to this, I can show you how to do that. Just ask for it, and I will definitely make a video for you. So thank you for watching. My name is Corey, and I'll see you guys later. See ya.